Hey everybody, hope you're having a great Wednesday. Come on down to Market Square. We got the Farmers Market here, and we got Candice McQueen here. So can't get any better. Come on. Candice McQueen, glad you're here. You've started a new organization called YogaKnox, but it's much, much more, as we're going to find out, than just yoga. I'm wondering if you can kind of share with us kind of the central focus of what you've done here, and what you just kind of jumped off the side, and now it's happening now, isn't it?
It's happening. It is more than yoga. It's food, it's nutrition, it's helping you teach your kids to eat healthy. It's about preventing disease, and it's about just living a better lifestyle.
Sure, and I think we all are finding, from all this research, that this is probably one of the hardest things that we have to do, is to change our lifestyles in a lot of ways. And I say that just because, as I think we're finding out some of the negative aspects that have kind of impacted us over the course of our life, and now all this stuff's coming out. So what's your background that really equips and sets you up for you and Patricia doing this?
Well, lots of things coming together. I happened upon yoga about 6 or 7 years ago, and just noticed that when I did it, I had just like an overall sense of well-being, and those winter blues didn't seem to creep in, and just I felt healthier, I felt more balanced, and also my mom has MS, and my brother always battled with childhood obesity, and so just kind of looking at all of those things and kind of thinking like, well, seeing what makes a difference, and my mom's treatment and different options and how they affected her health, and just kind of taking it all and rolling it into one and saying, what can I do? What can I do with
And your mom is your partner in this.
She is.
In YogaKnox. Tell me a little bit about her background as well. Her
name's Patricia Poligonano. She was diagnosed with MS about 11 years ago, coming up on 12. She is now a health minister, certified holistic health consultant, and she found when it was kind of miraculous results when she started eating healthy and watching her diet, and she probably wouldn't wish for bacon as her last meal, but right. When she did all this stuff and incorporating yoga, gentle yoga into your daily life, it was amazing. She went from walking with a cane to not needing it at all, and so when she is devout in her plan. And everything, it's just incredible.
And so you kind of saw this firsthand. You kind of saw her starting to kind of go downhill and feel the effects, see the effects and experience the effects of MS.
Right.
And then you also kind of saw this swing back up, which I care about this a lot because there are people in my family who have MS, and you want to help in some way, but there's in the past I know that there really hasn't been that many great treatments for MS. Back in the 70s and 80s, they were treating it with just steroids, and there are some new treatments out that are now helping, but then that's really more medicine. So go into the health ministering aspect of this, because this is the first time that I've heard this phrase. I'm really interested to know what health ministering is.
Okay, well, it's basically just sharing information, teaching you, and giving you the information to make wise decisions. And
it's just based off of your experiences. It's not something that you're not necessarily saying, we're not going to diagnose you, we're not going to give you any sort of clinical...
Yeah, it's not a diagnosis, we're not doctors. But it's just information.
While we're talking about MS, what are some things, as you kind of get specific about this change in lifestyle that we were talking about? What are the things that your mom has implemented that you've noticed that have made a big change?
She is vegetarian. I am as well. And so just eliminating meat, we're not saying you have to be vegetarian or you can't have meat.
This is what you found.
It is.
Yeah.
You can, we found that eating meat in smaller amounts, or just, incorporate those vegetables. She drinks juice on a daily basis. Carrot juice is kind of an all magical, powerful healer. And just fruits and vegetables, and just a healthy lifestyle, being conscious
So
of everything.
good diet, and there's an exercise component to that as well?
There is. You need good diet, exercise daily. I recommend yoga every day, or as much as you can do it. And then sunshine, purified water, and it's just kind of that holistic.
Now, did your mom in experiencing with her MS, did she have problems with balance at all? And because you think about, okay, physical activity might be a big challenge.
Right.
So some of the yoga that is it some of it seated and it's not as much dealing with balance?
It is, and that's one of the biggest problems with MS is fatigue and balance and stability. And so the things that I will do for MS patients is we do seated yoga. Some people are in a wheelchair all the time, and it can be completely done from a chair. And even that, people think that, well, I can't get up and down, I can't move around a lot.
Sure.
What benefit is it going to give? And
Right.
so we focus on breathing and small movements that will help you get mobility back.
That's so important. I'm so glad that you're sharing this because we just don't have that sort of concentration, or at least we might not be aware
Right.
of it. Some people might be working on this outside, and I'm just joining forces. The point is we're trying to do everything we can to help.
Right.
I also want to kind of turn gears just a little bit. There's also the MAKO, which I'm really interested for you to kind of explain what MAKO stands for and what YogaKnox is doing with it.
Okay, MAKO is Mothers Against Childhood Obesity. My mom has always had a passion for children, and her goal is to teach young mothers, whether they are still pregnant or just kind of how to set up your life so that you can feed your kids so that they can not have these problems with some of these diseases and run into the things that it's just knowledge, giving
Sure.
them the knowledge to make better decisions.
Education. When it's funny because as we, I always think as we grow up, when we were kids, we got treated. If we did something good, we could have some dessert, right?
Right.
Well, now as we make our choices as adults, we're like, hey, well, I had a pretty good day, and we rationalize pretty easily. I should have desserts pretty much all
Sure,
day long,
sure.
or things that aren't necessarily good for you, and that's kind of what I think people lose that aspect of mom being there. And so I
Right.
like that sort of education is so needed. On top of all of this that you guys are doing, and you're also doing kind of a whole range of yoga classes as well. Tell us about those.
I am now teaching yoga at Snap Fitness on Chapman Highway.
Okay.
It's 6.5 miles from downtown, so it's pretty convenient to here. We're offering yoga for MS, women's essential yoga, and that's open to beginners too. All of these classes can be adapted to whatever level that you're on. Some people are like, well, I don't know if I could do that. Power yoga, strength and flexibility. And I also do in-home classes for, if people have MS, and I've got a couple that I'm working on now setting up so that this lady's in a wheelchair. Or if it's a long drive to South Knoxville, I can come to you. And so it doesn't have to be a scary thing. Like,
Sure.
I don't know if I can go into a gym or kind of keep up.
I know that you're at the very beginning stages of this, but I'm so excited that you've done this. You must be getting something out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this wasn't an MS patient, but a class I taught the other day, a lady's having problems with her lower back. And she's like, I'm just in pain all the time. And so we did a short class, and I was like, well, tell me how you feel. And she was just like, she said, that was heavenly. And she was like, it's exactly what I needed. So it's a personal satisfaction that I can help.
Yeah. Well, for so many people out there that are struggling with this, it's hard to know what to do, and I'd like to point them in your direction just for a bit of a different sort of take on all of this. It's great what you're doing. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I want to make sure everybody knows the website is YogaKnox.com. That's where you go to find out all the information about what Candice and Patricia are doing there, and it's really great work. So looking forward to having you back and telling us about how things are growing and growing.
Yeah, I would love to.
In the very, very near future. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be right back with some more Skinny Flamingo when we return. Yeah.